Students totally miss the point of The Great Gatsby if they think that Gatsby or Tom or Wilson or Daisy are the bad guys at the end of the book. Before you come at me in the comments, because I'm sure you will, just hear me out like you would hear out your students. The easiest and the most convenient thing to do when we are trying to make sense of a situation is to raise a finger and to point at someone. That if that one person did or didn't do one thing, then everything would be different. And maybe this is true to an extent, but most times it is the setting or the construct or a vice. And the villain can also be a vice. Here's what I had my students do that is better than any who's to blame activity out there. They created wanted posters that represented the 7 deadly vices. This project is very easy to apply to any text. Before I even assign this assessment, I do a gallery walk with my students where they have to explore the 7 deadly vices, not only in The Great Gatsby, but where they see them in today's society. And after taking time to talk as a class and to look at other students' responses, students are going to choose one of the vices to demonstrate in a wanted poster. The focus is shifted from a wanted person to a wanted vice. Put all the components on one side and I leave the other side open for planning. Create a catchy tagline like lust, last seen whispering promises by the pool. Or I love this one for pride, last seen falling from Gatsby's balcony talking about the shirts. Then they create an original symbol that represents their vice, like this student who chose an hourglass to represent lust. And the idea that more is never enough. And part of their symbol is an explanation of how it relates back to The Great Gatsby and the modern world. Next, for their textual evidence, they have to have a brief quote or summary that demonstrates that vice. Not only how the moment reveals the vice, but talks about the consequences of who is harmed. Students can even come back to the gallery walk to look for examples of their vice. They have the space to plan right here so I can check it as we go. And on the back of their poster or on a separate sheet of paper, they have to talk about how their vice drives the plot of the text as a whole and where do we specifically see this vice today? Why is it harmful in the real world? Which again, they're able to bring back many specific examples. For the rubric, I tell students the highest score they can get is a C if they do not capitalize proper nouns or have excessive spelling and punctuation error. They cannot get higher than a C if they don't intentionally lay out their content. This was my first time doing this assignment with students and I did not have an example to show them. But instead we had a little workshop like this. Showed them a model on the board. And we played around with how they could lay out their content in a way that efficiently utilizes the space. And they produced some of the best work of the entire year. The editable directions and rubric for this assignment are ready to download in the Ultimate ELA ebook along with hundreds of other resources that you can use throughout the entire school year. So you will always have something engaging ELA to use in your classroom.